Would you like to work closer to home, save money on gas, and be rewarded for your hard work and attendance? Then Bellisio Foods is looking for you. That's right, Bellisio Foods is now hiring for multiple positions and shifts with great employee benefits, an on-site health clinic, competitive wages, and advancement opportunities. Bellisio Foods is a company that truly values their employees. Apply online at BellisioFoods.com/careers.
At Vinton County National Bank, we believe in supporting the areas where we live and work. Now, we'd like to honor those who also serve our communities. Our new Community Champions account is especially for first responders, veterans, active military, and anyone employed in the fields of healthcare or education. This account offers rewards, discounts, and other benefits to those who give so much to others. Vinton County National Bank, rewarding those who serve.
Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to the morning show where we are trying to find out what some of these slang words that teenagers say.
This new
mean.
slang, I can't do it.
We're super confused.
Can't do it. Skibbity, Sigma,
Skibbity,
Riz.
Sigma. Okay, so here's the thing. We have our friends from 4-H here, and we're going to talk about camp and stuff like that here in a minute. But we got off on the subject of what some of these slang words mean. And you, Josh, said that when you go to school, sometimes the kids say, what?
Yeah, they came up to me and they're like, dude, you're so Sigma. And I was like, thank you, I think. I don't know what
We don't know what
that
Sigma
means.
So I know that Sigma is a Greek alphabet letter.
Yeah.
So I looked it up, and it means you're a humble alpha male.
I appreciate that.
So I think that means good.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope so.
So I keep hearing these kids say skibbity, and so we asked Adrian over there what skibbity means, and then I asked my friend this morning who is also a middle school teacher, and she was clear as mud because she said it can mean good or bad.
Yeah. I'd have to buy a vowel if you told me to spell that.
Well, it's S-K-I-B-I-D-I, skibbity. But she did say that her kids say it so much that she finally bet them if they would not say skibbity until like Christmas break, that she would like give them a treat.
Good luck.
Fair. I think she's safe. But this, I just looked it up. It says skibbity, pronounced skippity. Oh,
Skippity? Skippity?
Sorry, my bad. I've been saying it wrong the whole time. Has no inherent meaning. It can be used as a wacky adjective to mean cool, bad, or dumb, depending on the context, according to Urban Dictionary, which we know is a really good resource.
It's the truth.
I mean, when you look up something on Urban Dictionary, it's gospel.
For good or bad.
It can be used as a way to start a joking conversation in reference to absurd slang culture. I have no flippin' idea. So now we're way dumber than we were when we started.
Gen Alpha is going to take this first 5 minutes of this episode and just have a field day with it.
They are.
Yeah.
So if anybody out there is listening, throw us out some words. Let us learn, because we old people need to know. I mean, you kind of need to know because they're going to fire these words at us, and we need to know whether they're insulting us or cussing us out or like saying nice things like Sigma.
Right. Yeah. I mean, when we were growing up, we had those key code words that, our adults didn't know, but I feel like they weren't that different.
They weren't like
the words we learned from the Ninja Turtles, right?
I don't see. I'm way older than the Ninja Turtles.
The original Ninja Turtles.
God bless you, but no, I'm way too old for Ninja Turtles. No, yeah, that's what I was talking with my friend this morning. I'm like, we had like cool and rad and awesome and totally and stuff like that, and that kind of made more sense. But skippity, no.
Skippity, nope.
Skibbity, Riz.
I did learn, so we have glizzies on Tuesdays at the brewery, and glizzies are hot dogs. Did you know that?
I did know that.
Not.
I did know that.
It's a
Did
thing.
not.
Yeah. It's like a pork thing.
Huh.
I don't know where it came from, but...
Huh.
I could have had Elijah give me a whole list of words to go over this morning, but he'd had to tell me what they meant.
I know.
Because I have no clue.
I know. It's like crazy out there. So if anyone can help us out, Adrian, do you know any words that we wouldn't know? He's like, I just push the buttons, man. Leave me alone. Okay. All right. Well, welcome everyone. Good morning. And we have some friends from 4-H and the extension office here and Canner's Cave.
From Canner's Cave,
So
guys.
tell everybody who you are.
So my name is Eric McGinnis. I am the new camp manager out at Canner's Cave 4-H camp. I took over in, let's say, July. With camp season running June and July, it was a little bit of a blur.
Wait. So you took over in the middle of camp season?
Well, something like that.
We kind of just tossed him in and said, have fun, you can do it.
And I still
You're a
don't know if I
good
can.
boy. I think he's pretty Sigma, don't you?
I think so, yeah.
Gosh,
Yeah.
let's hope so. But I took over. We had, it was just a big blur for 2 months. It was just a
Yeah.
big blur. Kids coming in, leaving the next day. Half of them would come back the very next day. Then they'd leave again, and then half of them would come back again the next day.
Because one of Eric's biggest challenges was he's never seen a 4-H camp. Never. He's never been to a 4-H camp, never seen what it looks like. So even that was just brand new, tossed him right into it.
Did you like Google it, or how did you survive?
I was told one thing: keep them fed.
That makes total
That
sense.
was it. Make sure you don't run out of food.
That
And-
totally makes sense. Do you have to do the cooking?
I had to at the time. So I had my first encounter with spaghetti for 200 instead of spaghetti for 4. And
Yeah, it's a little different cooking for 4
Just a
versus
little.
Yeah.
a couple of hundred. Yeah.
we made spaghetti for about, 75, 100, and I think we were only feeding 20 people. But we didn't know. It was learn on the job, right?
Sure.
And it all congealed at the bottom of the pan because, of course, it ran out of water. So
This is
we
great.
took the
Bring
spaghetti
your
off the
kids to
top.
4-H camp.
we got
awesome.
better as the season went on, but the spaghetti on top was done. So we just took the spaghetti off the top. Those kids, they don't complain. And kids will eat spaghetti 5 days a week.
You're right. It's kind of like pizza and some of the other
Yeah.
things.
Yeah.
I mean, you just tacos, just give them. Yeah.
They do not complain, and they will always come back for extra garlic bread.
So as long as you didn't burn the bread, you were in good shape.
And they didn't even care if you burn it sometimes. They love garlic bread.
And they loved coming back for seconds.
Oh, yeah. You holler at seconds, and here they come.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So it was tough, but we got through it, and now we're another year ahead. So,
Yeah,
Look forward to
absolutely.
next
Now you
year.
have like more than 5 seconds to plan.
God. It was mapped out for me. Just don't screw this up. And I did my
No
best.
pressure. Oh my gosh, I had no idea. Bless your little heart.
It was tough, but like I said, those kids, they're easy. They're easy.
Uh-huh.
And a lot of the little ones, they're probably not going to eat what you make them anyway. And a lot of the older ones, they'll eat every bit of it. So it's give and take.
Okay.
You know how kids pick.
Oh, I know.
So
But I think we got lucky. I think we found Eric at right the perfect time because I don't think anybody else would have like survived being tossed into the fire just like that.
I'm on blood pressure medicine now. So so I don't know if I survived yet. So
For more reasons than one, probably. But no, so my God, I can't even imagine. So were you in 4-H as a kid?
I was not.
Oh, so
were
you're
sports
really,
kids.
like-
I had no clue. I tell everybody this and they don't believe me, but we have my Thanksgiving dinner out there up on the hill. So if you drive through camp, the Harrison Leadership Building is up on the hill. I've had my Thanksgiving up there for 10 plus years and never drove back into camp.
Why?
Because the food was up on the hill. So why would I go back into camp?
I hope you weren't cooking Thanksgiving spaghetti.
I was just eating it. But I never drove back into camp. And then last year, I got the maintenance job out there.
Oh, okay.
And so I got hired in September. Camps were over at that point. So I had never seen a 4-H camp until Vinton County rolled in at the end of May. And it started right then. And it wasn't bad.
Yeah.
If I'd had a cook out there, it'd have been a lot better.
Yeah.
But I've got a cook now,
Good deal.
and we'll go from there.
Makes the world's best spaghetti, I hope.
My gosh. I've never touched spaghetti again.
I'll bet. Yeah, no, that's the great thing about pasta. It goes a far way, but it's really hard to judge how much that you need to like make.
Yeah.
It is.
It's weird.
And I think our biggest camp last year was beginner camp or junior high.
It was that beginner camp.
And I was cooking for $250. So
And that's like 3 meals a day, or
3 meals a day. So as soon as you get, just like the school, you get done with one, you
I was
clean
gonna
up,
say,
start another one.
how do you ever get time to do anything else? Because all you'd get done is cooking.
That's all we did. That's all we did.
Just
But I
had-
think that was the most important thing.
Yeah.
You pay the bills later, get these kids fed.
Yeah,
So
for sure. Well, what was what were some of the most exciting and surprising things that you learned as you were thrown to the wolves, for lack of better words? I'll bet you that you learned some valuable lessons quick.
I did. Junior high kids are snots sometimes.
They say skippity a lot.
The beginner kids were great. The teenagers were great. The junior highs were a little ornery.
So if you ask any, I can remember, do you remember this? I remember going to junior high, and I remember all the teachers being like, we can't stand your class because y'all think, and I don't know if it's because you're in this in-between stage of being a kid versus being an adult.
Yeah.
And I think that you just cope by thinking you know everything.
Yeah.
Or you're,
very good.
I mean,
that explains it all. Yeah.
I remember my 8th grade year, I was in that class. That's how they referred to us, was
Yes.
that class. And I was like, I don't even know how I got in here.
Yeah. Now we had went into one of the buildings out there that the kids were staying in. It was the boys, and we walked in there to fix something. And I had never seen so many snacks in my life.
Wait,
You've seen the movie Heavyweights, right?
uh-huh.
I'm telling you, they had so many snacks. I swear, I think one kid even had a cooler. And I'm like, what are you guys doing? And that we had ants at that point because there was food everywhere. And that was them junior high kids. And they were just,
I remember going to camp and we would get like those big totes that you put your Christmas stuff in. We'd fill them all filled with snacks, carry them all up. You'd have like 8 different totes in there. And
Really?
yeah, after you ate lunch, you went back to the cabin, had snacks.
had snacks.
And,
Yeah, that makes sense.
and it was all gone by the end of camp. Believe it or not, it was all gone.
That is awesome. Yeah, I don't know. And back to the junior high thing, I get it. And I can remember being thoroughly offended because teachers said, I don't like 8th graders are the worst. And so then one time, here's a fun story for you. And we'll get to what we're going to talk about here in a minute. I somehow got volunteered to go to Columbus. My niece was a junior high cheerleader, and their advisor quit right before camp. And so I was like, I'll do it. No problem. So to Columbus I went to take 2 squads of junior high cheerleaders to cheer camp. They were the meanest. I mean, they are mean. And finally, I had to literally set them down and be like, you are the meanest human beings I have ever met in my life. Stop it now. I was so mad at them. So I get what you're saying.
Yeah, I
Like,
think that
why
was,
are you being so nasty to each other?
that was the only time I think I heard the educators have to raise their voice. That was it. The rest of them just seemed to go.
I think they're just finding their way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just figuring out your place in the pack, if you will.
And then in about 5 or 10 more years, I'll think, oh, I did that in middle school. Ooh,
Oh, my
that was
God, what-
cringe, as the kids would say.
Cringe. It was so cringe. Yeah, so there you go. Now you've learned some words today. Skippity, we still don't know exactly what it means because it means good or bad.
Yeah.
Both.
I will not use it in a sentence today. It shall leave my brain, hopefully to never be brought up again. So, what you guys came to talk about today, well, Josh, what have you been into? Okay, by the way, I'll let you explain where our sweet Maddie is because this is ridiculous.
Yeah. Maddie she wasn't here last month because she had professional development in Columbus. And Maddie was actually selected to go on an immersion trip in Puerto Rico. So poor Madison
She is suffering suffering.
She's
in Puerto
suffering in
Rico.
Puerto Rico, where it's 86 degrees, sunny, and probably about a half hour from the beach. But she's actually down there doing some cool things.
She's working.
She's going into different schools down there in Puerto Rico and kind of seeing how they educate those kids. And then they also have 4-H down in Puerto Rico. So she's down there actually looking into the 4-H program, how it's ran, because each state does it just a little bit differently. Every state has extension. Extension is very different, but every state has 4-H, and 4-H kind of the similar, but they do it just a little bit differently. So seeing it as on the Puerto Rico side, it's definitely pretty interesting. So she's going down, working with kids down there, and also doing stuff in the community.
Yeah, and I know that she's learning a ton and having fun along the way. But yes, it's very fun to just really rail on her for being in Puerto Rico this time of the year.
She doesn't have to deal with this weather where you go out and it's just
Oh my God. I'm like, I walked in and my hair, everyone was laughing at me because it was like all this way.
Yeah.
Like all around my head.
Yeah, I felt bad for the secretary in there because I opened the door and just ice wave right to their face.
It's horrible. Oh my gosh. If you have not been outside, it is, it's a rough one out there this morning.
Yeah, don't go outside.
Did you guys see that somewhere in West Virginia, I think it was like Charleston or Huntington or something, their ginormous tree at the Capitol? Where would that be? Charleston?
Charleston. Yeah.
Their ginormous, like, Rockefeller tree, but like their tree.
Oh gosh.
It's
Merry
like a
Christmas.
70-foot some tree, and it fell over
Oh, man.
because of the windstorm. I'm like, oh.
Well, I was going through Wellston. They had a light pole down, like a whole light pole just
Oh,
laying
really?
right by the cannon right there. So
That's scary. Yeah, I mean, you just never know what's going to happen. So be careful out there. But it is very, shall we say, blustery.
yeah.
And I think they were hanging Christmas lights in Jackson right now, right down Main Street. So
I mean,
not the job I would want.
Just easy stuff like that. Be up in a bucket truck.
Yeah.
The only thing worse than walking is being in a bucket truck, like in this wind.
Yeah.
So, yeah, for sure.
But yeah, Maddie's enjoying the weather just a little bit better than we are.
I'll bet. And you know, Puerto Rico is the United States. A lot of people don't realize
Right.
that. So I'm sure what she's learning in 4-H and whatever. Yes, do they have 4-H? Yeah, they sure do. And she said it's a little different there. Didn't she say they do it a lot through the schools?
Yeah, a lot of it is through the schools. That's why she's spending a lot of time during the school day. I think she's there like all school day, just going to different class to class just to see what they do and also kind of bringing Ohio to them. She said, she actually texted me the other day and she said
Love that.
if bump out or knockout, the basketball game, becomes popular in Puerto Rico, it's thanks to her because apparently she taught a whole school how to play bump out and they've never played it before.
That's awesome.
That's great.
So yeah, we'll have a lot of stories coming back.
I
She
can't
said
wait
that
to hear
she's
from
already
her.
seen a spider the size of her hand. Whether that's exaggerated or not, we don't know.
I'm good. I hope she leaves it in Puerto Rico.
Yep,
She's
So-
probably down there looking for a house right now.
probably.
Yeah, right. I told her to eat some mofongo, so we'll see if she did or not.
What is Mufung?
Mofongo. So mofongo is you take like a mortar and pestle and you take plantains and you mix it with like garlic and some other spices and you like mash it with a mortar and pestle and you make like a bowl out of the plantains
Okay.
and you fry it and then you fill it with toppings like whatever you want. Like I got pork when I was there. Puerto Rico's kind of known for their glizzy down there. But yeah, so and then it has different things on it. Yeah,
That doesn't sound bad.
it's
gonna-
really good.
It's going to be on the camp schedule next
Yes,
time. So
I
take
expect-
notes.
Dude, if you have mofongo at the camp, you let me know. I'll be out.
Okay. Okay. What's our smallest camp? It sounds expensive.
I was going to say, I'm sure that plantains are not within your budget.
Well, can we use a banana instead?
No. Nice try, though.
We'll substitute there. We'll find something.
Not quite.
I'll put that one on the schedule.
Yeah. Good.
Okay, we'll see. You
Put
have to
that for
learn
a
it.
board meeting. How's that?
That'll work.
You can come out
Can
for
you
a board
imagine?
meeting.
Can you imagine? Like, excuse me, the next item up for discussion is mofongo. We have had a request.
Marty and Dave would not be happy about
yeah,
that.
I don't think they would think we're as funny as we do. So,
I think Fred would try it though, wouldn't he?
Oh, Fred would try anything.
yeah. So Maddie is not here today. That was a long explanation of why she is not. We miss her, but we know that she's learning a lot and having fun. And also, as you said, teaching the kids a little bit about 4-H and also Ohio as a whole. So that's really cool. I can't think of a better ambassador than her.
Yeah, super excited and good opportunity for her.
Yeah, for sure. Even though she's warm.
Yeah.
And we're not.
We're just a little jealous.
Yeah, it's okay. We're not. Yeah, we're not
Jealous.
We're not mad or anything. So, okay. So, what else have you had going on out at Extension? And then we'll get to the reason why you're here.
Yeah, so we just wrapped up our Hunter's Ed back in November. We were doing that actually the week I came on, and we were able to.
How did that go?
It was awesome. We were able to certify 28 new hunters, so hopefully they were able to go out and do hunting this season and do it safely. So we were super excited to have that 28 kids. That's awesome, and we're
Our
looking
deer
forward to it.
harvest has been really high, so it must be all you.
Yeah, I seen that. I don't know about that.
We're gonna go with that.
I seen that youth season. They had like just over 10,000, I think, harvested deer
That's
just over youth
crazy.
season.
That's
I
a
think
lot.
that's what I seen. So excited for the kids to keep that tradition alive
Sure.
and keep that alive. And now moving into December, it's more of just trainings and getting ready for 2025. We have a lot of pesticide recertification stuff getting ready to start up. We've got a training all next week. So just getting ready for 2025, the holiday season, because no one wants to go out in the weather right now. No one wants to go out and get cold. And the only program I think I have this month is our Farmers Club. They're doing their annual winter meetings. So,
Yeah.
So Christmas dinner out at the Scioto Township building. So
Oh, awesome! When is that?
that's going to be on the third Monday. So I think that's December 16th.
Okay.
So it's going to be the third Monday, and it's going to be out there. So if you're interested and want to
Very
come eat,
fun.
be sure to give me a call. We can put you down on the list. It's $15 to come eat. We play some games and have some fun. So
You guys always have a good time
Oh,
and
yeah.
a good meal.
yeah. We have Andy Nelson. He works at the Farm Service Agency, and he makes pretty good homemade food. So
You should hire him to make spaghetti.
As long as it's
I
not
got
me.
I got a guy. Call old Andy out there. No, and what are with the weather, Josh, and the I know that we're still technically in a drought. I think, aren't we?
I believe it's just very mild. It's gone down a lot.
Okay, good.
But we still need that moisture to come and build that water table up, because I don't know what the current one is, but back in November we were still 10 inches below normal.
It's not enough.
Right. We need a steady rain throughout this whole winter, some moisture, and over the spring, just to build that water table back up.
Okay. So what are some of the challenges if this continues on that you foresee coming up in the future, especially coming into the spring?
Yeah, a lot of it's going to affect our pastures. When we have that drought, that affects how that plant or how that grass grows. And then if it's overgrazed, which I'm going to assume a lot of it was,
Yeah.
no offense to any farmers, but there
Well,
was just very limited feed.
You can't help it.
So you're just trying to get as much as you can. So that's going to affect what the pasture might look like. So we might need to see some more seeding in the spring. But seeding doesn't work unless we have moisture there.
Unless we get some water in the
So
ground.
we're really
yeah.
hoping for some rain this winter / spring to get some opportunity for new growth and for planting new grass into our fields, hay fields, pasture, whatever it may be.
Well, let me ask you this. While this is of a personal note, but you and I have talked about lawns and grass, and you have a dog. I have two. And where dogs tend to go, grass tends to go away. But no, right outside of our front door, we need to reseed that. Can I do that over the winter and let it? Because I've had two people tell me different things. I've heard that it's good to throw the seed down and let the freeze and thaw, like suck it into the ground. And then I've heard, no, don't do that.
So you can do a thing called frost seeding. It might just be a little bit too late where the ground's probably already frozen solid. Once it gets frozen solid, it's kind of just sitting on there throughout the winter. If you did it in the late fall, looking at kind of late October,
I'm too late.
it would kind of do that.
It, like,
freeze
massages it into the
right.
ground.
It's called frost seeding. So you could
Okay.
do that, but right now it's probably a little too late. It's probably better off just to wait until spring.
Okay.
And
what
use
time of the
it
year?
as bird feed. What?
Yeah.
As bird feed coming in.
What time of the year would you start seeding that?
Typically, once you start seeing the temperature go above 32 quite often, wherever the ground starts to become not a block of ice,
And it turns into a muddy mess.
Yeah, so roughly for Ohio,
right.
that can be anywhere from mid-March to late May. So there's a wide
Or
window.
it could be
but
February.
it could-
you don't know.
it could be February. It could be January. It depends on the
it could
year.
be, yeah, you don't know. Or
But-
it could be July.
But typically around that mid-March range is where we're probably going to look at
Okay.
reseeding.
Okay, very good. Well, thank you for your opinion on
Yeah,
that.
yeah, no problem.
Because I was about ready to throw all the grass seed out in the front yard, so I will not do that. I will hold on to it.
Yep, I would hold on to it until spring at this point. But if you did it a month or two ago, definitely could have done it.
Drat.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Well, maybe we'll get some 70-degree weather during Christmas.
You never know.
Right.
Yeah, if that happens,
stranger
you got a
things have
chance.
happened.
We're always due for a week where you're like, where did this come from?
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Or all the pipes are bursting, one or the other.
There you go.
Yeah.
So, well, speaking of cold weather and kind of the holiday Christmas season, you all have something special going on at camp. You know, Cantor's Cave is a place for 4-H camp, but it's also a place that's run year round, as you have, I'm sure, found out.
Yes, I have. So right now, oddly enough, we're in the early December, but camp's full right now. So we've got hunters in almost every building.
Wait,
that is
what?
not
I didn't know that
winterized.
was a thing.
So we've got hunters from Indiana, we've got hunters from Kentucky, and then we got local hunters that are staying in the lodges right now because they're hunting in
Okay.
Jackson County. So
They're not hunting at the camp, right?
they're not. We're not hunting at the camp.
That could get
But
scary.
They are staying at the camp.
Okay.
So we've got
awesome.
some locals up in our leadership building. We've got our Kentuckians in our Harrison Powell Lodge, and then we've got some Indiana boys over in our foundation building.
Interesting.
They come in, they stay the night. They're up and at 'em before I get there. They're in the woods already.
You don't have to feed them spaghetti, do you?
I don't know if they would pay for that. Kids, you can pawn it off on. Adults are like, I'll go to McDonald's. But no, they're there.
Okay.
The Kentuckians, they've been. I think this is like 30 years they've been there.
Wow.
Long
Okay.
time they've been coming there, and we just got some new hunters from Indiana, and then some of the local hunters decided that there was enough of them they wanted to stay up there, and they've already talked about coming back again next year. And every
bet they're
little bit
having a
we did
good
for the camp, I'm sure they're having a great time. You set up in there, you chat, you use no skippities being thrown around up there. So you sit in front of the campfire, you fall asleep, you get up early in the morning, and you go hunt. So
It could be worse. Life could be worse.
they like this cold weather. I'm not a fan, but I guess this
Well,
is good for hunting.
It is if you have to harvest a deer and
Yeah.
it's not 70 degrees
No,
outside,
yeah.
because that could get real messy real quick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
This is perfect weather
yeah,
for them.
camp it's buzzing. That sounds terrible in December, but
No, that's great.
they'll all be heading out Saturday morning around that, and then we'll start rolling in. So Saturday is our vendor show that we're having out at camp. We've got 40 different vendors, almost 60 different tables. We're doing food out there this year. Well, I've got my cook, and he's making chicken and noodles,
Ooh.
mashed
That doesn't
potatoes.
sound bad.
He's been baking this week, so some Buckeyes. We all love Buckeyes this time of year. Some sugar cookies. Doing a little bit of everything. We'll have a little bit of a penny auction to say. Just anything to raise funds for camp and 4-H.
Okay.
Anything we can do to get more money to invest in camp, to invest in the kids. That's all we're after. So every little bit
right.
helps. It runs from 9 to 3.
And this
on
is Saturday?
Yep.
Okay.
Saturday morning. You can do that in the morning, and you come back in town. I think the parade's Saturday, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. I think all our festivities are
Yeah,
Saturday
so
evening. Yeah.
That gives you the whole day of Christmas festivities.
Very good. And you can start off tonight in downtown Jackson with our First Thursday event, and the cookie walk. But there you go, Cantor's Cave Vendor Fair. You forgot to
I
mention
forgot
something.
Santa.
I was going to mention there's a
Santa.
special guest coming.
Well, we wanted to give the kids a reason to come out too.
Sure.
A lot of the kids go to camp out there, so why not come out and see Santa? So from 12 to 3, Santa Claus will be out there sitting in front of the fireplace. And another thing I didn't mention, it's free, guys. We're not charging. There's no admission. There's no parking. There's no photo op with Santa. There's no paying for a photo op with Santa.
Okay,
Just
that's
come
awesome.
talk to Santa, get your picture taken,
If
get you
wanna-
something to eat while you're there.
Hey, if you want to throw Santa a donation, he
That's
would not turn
perfectly
it
fine.
down for the camp.
But Santas legally are not allowed to take money.
There you go.
And you can do your Christmas shopping. There's going to be 40-some
and I
vendors.
guess
So,
that's
40
kind of
some
the,
vendors,
the
yeah.
point inside,
yeah.
where it's warm.
Yeah.
Just picture the one they had up at the high school in the field house, and then narrow it down just a little bit.
Okay,
We
so
don't have that kind of space.
yeah, right. So tell us some of the vendors that are coming in.
Well, we've got a little bit of everything. We've got people that make the T-shirts. You know, they bring the presses with them. They can pretty much make any design that you want.
Oh,
We've got earrings. We got tumblers. We've got decorations. We got hair bows. If you can think of it, it's going to be there. We've got some wood burning. We've got some metal signage. Oh man, there's snacks. What was it? Homemade soaps.
Yeah.
There's a little bit of everything. That stuff, it's popular these days.
of course.
You know,
This whole shop local thing is so refreshing.
it
Yeah.
is.
It's like there are so many ridiculously talented people in our area.
And this gives them a little shop to showcase.
And here's the thing: if you have to buy, a gift for your Aunt Susie that lives in, Upper Arlington that you have no idea what to get her a Jackson-made product or a locally made product. I mean, she would certainly appreciate that. Something that you can't get anywhere else.
Yeah.
Right.
And then my wife and my girls, their earrings. It never fails. Got to have earrings, right? Have an earring for every day of the week.
I mean, it's a
And
thing.
now it's a Jackson Ironman earring, or I'm from Wellston. So
Oh my gosh.
so it's totally different. And I wear red. I haven't put on the Jackson stuff yet. But the girls are not that age yet. When time comes, I'll throw on the Jackson gear.
Okay.
So,
You'll
I'm
suck it up
working.
and do it. He's
well, I'm
like
gonna have to. They're my
he's
kids.
slowly transitioning over, as you can tell.
But yeah, they make this stuff. Jackson, Ohio State, which we still want to talk about.
We're not gonna.
Yeah.
The game in which we will not mention.
There you go. And anything Christmas you can imagine, ornaments. It's
Cool.
it's so much, and it's so good. And like I said, there's local people. I know we have someone bringing honey down. So
Oh.
that I don't know if it's flavored, but honey's a big seller these days. People
Well,
love that stuff.
Here's the thing, and you want to talk about, so you can go to the grocery store and you can buy honey. And I was talking with somebody that actually makes honey, like has bees and whatever. And did you know, I'm going to probably get myself in trouble. He was telling me that like honey that you get at the grocery store, honey, is like, only has to be like 20% honey.
That doesn't surprise me one bit.
Yep. It
It's
doesn't
like
have to be pure.
Corn syrup and sugar water. And I'm like, what?
And you can taste the difference. If
Oh.
you take one spoonful of regular honey, one spoonful of what you get at the store, that's not that 100% pure honey.
It's
You can taste it.
completely different. So here's the thing: a little bit of your pure honey goes a long way. Plus, you're eating local honey, which helps us with our allergies and all of that stuff. And again, what a great gift idea to get somebody that that doesn't live around here.
Yeah. I've got a producer that whenever he's got different hives of bees and he can tell what time of year that honey was made
For
just
sure.
because he can taste that different flowers that are actually going to be in it,
yeah.
that taste into it.
Well, I'm surprised with as many people that use honey, and you use it in everything.
You do.
Like it's crazy. My mom's one of those people where she's like, "Well, just put some honey in it," and I'm like, "I'm okay."
I do. I put honey in a lot of stuff, tea and all kind of stuff. Yeah. So here's an interesting story. Have I told you about being at the meadery in Columbus? Fun story about honey. So mead is a drink that's made out of fermented, instead of like grain and whatever, which is beer and hops and all that, it's honey. It's fermented honey. So mead gets really strong. If you ever have the chance to try mead, it will be just like this much, because it's like so high in alcohol because the sugar content is so high. So there was a meadery in Columbus called Brothers Drake, and my husband and I happened to be in there one day, and I knew they had a location in Columbus, and then they had one in California. And we just happened to be sitting at the bar trying a couple different things, and the owner just happened to be in there. He lives in California, and so we got to talking about having a brewery and all that stuff. Anyway, he's like, I want you to try something. Just let me know what you think. And we were like, okay. And he's like, okay, so this mead is from our California hives, our California honey, and this is from our Ohio. And I guess it's what you grow up on. That the California mead tasted so disgusting to me. Like, it was so different. And I know it's just because they have all different flowers and yeah.
You wouldn't think that though, would you? You
wouldn't, but
wouldn't until
it was like a markedly different. Yeah. And I was like, holy, and he was like, yeah, interesting, isn't it? And I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I would never think you would get it through that fermentation process. That's crazy how that just empowers it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Totally did. I was like, whoa, this doesn't taste anything like what I've had in Ohio.
A couple of years ago, we did a tour, and I know this is a little bit different than honey, but we did a tour up in northeastern Ohio, up in Ashtabula County, so the very top corner of Ohio.
Sure.
And we went to a maple production farm where they had a bunch of maple trees, tapped them, and was producing maple syrup. And they would take their maple syrup and put it in bourbon barrels, and they would let it age. And it was bourbon flavored maple syrup. Oh man, that was some good stuff.
That sounds good.
That would be good stuff. And of course, there's always just a hint of the bourbon left in the barrel.
Yep.
So just saying.
Yep.
Makes your morning pancakes even that more of a special treat.
Put it over a little bit of ice cream.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
No, for sure. That's definitely a thing. Love that. Okay, so vendor fair this coming Saturday at Canner's Cave. You want to tell everybody how to get out there?
It's pretty simple. If you're on 35 heading to Chillicothe or heading back to Jackson, it is right before you get to County Road 28 or Sour Run Road. And then coming back, the Lloyd's Bridge exit now is open.
Okay.
So you can get off either or. I do want to warn everybody, it is not the best place to get off the highway because there's not an access lane there.
Yep.
So be careful when you're coming out there. Just get your blinker on early
Yep.
as you can. Hit
your brakes a couple times.
Yeah, just to let that person behind
Yeah.
you know. It's not one of the best places, but it kind of is what it is. Get your
Is that
blinker on.
Caves Road?
It is Caves
Okay.
Road.
Yep.
Yes.
Canner's Cave, get it? Caves Road, like you can't miss it.
Yep.
I'll tell you the address. It's 1362 Caves Road. But if you put that in your GPS, it might send you 10 different ways
Okay.
and not actually take you to Caves Road. But it'll get you there.
All you have to do is turn off of 35 onto Caves Road and keep driving until you see the 4-H camp.
And there will be signs for everybody, I promise. We will make sure there'll be signs out on the highway and let you know which way you're coming. If you're coming from wherever, we'd love to have everybody out there.
And it is a bit of a windy, twisty road, just to let you know.
Yeah.
The weather's not going to be bad. It's actually going to warm up a
I
little
think
bit.
it's supposed to be in the 40s that day.
yeah.
So hopefully no wind.
Hopefully. But yeah, just be careful driving out there. It is a little bit windy, curvy, but it is very pretty.
It is.
And you can just kind of walk around and look at the camp. It's, gorgeous out there.
But can I throw something else out there? So,
Honey, you can throw whatever you want.
So I do want to, it's a give of thanks to the local fire departments.
Sure.
So we just had a fire out there a couple months ago.
Oh, you did?
So I'm assuming it's still under investigation, but we had 2 fires started on Caves Road. And
that
Colton,
sounds shady.
yeah, and very shady. But the Colton Fire Department, some of the Jackson ones, some of the township ones. They all came out and they fought that fire for 2 days.
Wow.
And I just want to tell them all thanks. You guys
For
did
sure.
a great job. That fire got all the way back behind a couple of our cabins, and we very easily could have lost camp. But they wore themselves out, and it's not an easy hike getting up on them hills.
No, it is not.
The fire got up on the hill both days, so they're in full gear.
Messing
trying
with
to
dry
climb the hill.
leaves.
Yeah.
Are you
Yeah.
kidding me?
Yeah, and the ONDR was out there, ODNR.
ODNR, yep.
ODNR was out there. They got a dozer up on top of the hill. That was a brave moment for itself, taking
yeah.
a dozer up there and down. But
Yeah.
they did a great job. Thanks to everybody that kicked in. And like I said, for 2 days, they were out there just battling it,
that's some
trying to
scary
get up
stuff.
on top of it. We're still charred a little bit out there. And, every bit we raise, we all our money stays in the camp and the community.
Yes, it does.
Right.
So we're not piggybacking off anybody. We just want to make camp better, and help Jackson County. That's what
Yeah.
we're all about.
Yeah, and I mean, I think a lot of people are spoiled here because our kids just have 4-H camp in their backyard, but I mean, kids come from all over the place to come to Cantor's Cave for 4-H camp. Like, it's not just our county; it's
Right.
from all over, and we just happen to have it here, so we don't realize it.
The farthest is Brown County, so they travel about 2.5 hours just to come to camp, which
Yeah.
is
My favorite though is we had a boy last year, and he was a counselor, and he lived in Ironton. So his mom had to drop him off. She comes back 2 days later and says, "Can't I just pay you guys to leave him here?" Because he was coming back the very next day. She goes, "Can't I just pay you guys and leave him here? He doesn't want to go home. He did not want to go home." And they had to make that trip. I don't know how many times they made that trip,
Yeah.
but he was probably at camp 4 or 5 times last year.
Aw.
And each time his mom would have to drive down, come back. If a camp ends on Wednesday, she got to be there on Wednesday to get him, knowing he's coming back Thursday morning.
Oh no!
And like you said, some of them are
Yeah.
2 hours, hour and a half. That's a lot during the week. So, but yeah, he was one of the good ones. But he's like, "Can I just stay, guys?
I mean,
I'll go hide.
yeah, I was gonna say, like, I'll
We'll
just
feed you.
go into the latrine over there or something. I don't know.
We've got leftover spaghetti for dinner."
Yeah, right. There's all kind of spaghetti.
I will put this out there. You can warm up food. It's not a problem. And because we didn't know, I don't know how much spaghetti to make. You can listen to what it says. Some kids will eat it. Some kids won't.
Yep.
You end up with maybe a couple extra pans of spaghetti one time.
Sure.
And those kids are asking for it the next day.
Aw.
Do you got any leftover spaghetti? And you're just like, "Yeah, we've got plenty of spaghetti left over."
like we got spaghetti for like 5 weeks.
They will ask for it for lunch, and they'll ask for it again for dinner.
Aw.
But I found out with my kids, they'll eat spaghetti.
It's a pasta thing.
Yeah, they will eat spaghetti. Every once in a while, throw in an extra noodle or something, and it'll be like, switch it up. Let's have linguine or Alfredo or whatever it takes. I don't even know what the other ones were. What are the little round ones?
Panay.
Panay, yeah. We had that the other night, and kids just, "I don't even want any sauce to go on. Just give me the noodles." I was like, "That's terrible." At least butter
Give me
them
the
or something.
noodles.
But yeah, the kids, they'll eat anything out there. But I do want to say thanks to the local fire departments. They
Yes, for
did
sure.
save the day.
Yeah.
Did.
So it's
As
really
they do so much.
it's really cool seeing ODNR step in too, because they're employees with the natural resources, but they're also trained in fighting those wildlife fires. So a lot of them are fire trained, and they go out and they actually go out to California during fire season.
Sure.
And they help fight the fires out there. So it's really cool to see how they just jump in and do those dozer hills that
Yeah.
like look
I mean,
insane
it's
to anybody else,
it's
but it's just something that they're
crazy.
used to. They've got all the math and everything ironed out with it, and
And you can see where it's burnt out there. It's plain as day. Trees are still burnt. And grass is not going to grow back anytime soon. So
Yeah. Not good. Don't be a jerk and do stuff like that. Come on. Like,
yeah.
Why?
Yeah. Well, so fire, obviously setting fires intentionally is not good for everything else, but fire is actually being used as a tool for our woodlands managing our woodlands. So one of the big things that's going around now is called prescribed fire. So that's when like people get trained and have people who's trained to do it, you know, obviously doing it for the right reason so it doesn't get away, to set prescribed fire on like a certain area of their property. So it's burning away different types of our woodlands. Because nowadays, what do you think the best timber is for selling, or one of the best timbers?
In our area
Yeah,
or just in
let's
general?
just do our area. That's a good one.
Well, I know we have white oak.
Oak. So our oaks, our space side over there, they want that white oak bourbon barrels. Well, we're starting to see a lot of our woodlands turn into a maple dominated woodlands. So the maples, what they do is they grow really quick. So they're growing up really quick, and they've got this shallow root system. But with our oaks grow in the ground. They get that root system established, and then they start growing up.
I gotcha.
So whenever we have that fire, it'll burn those maples and cause them to potentially die out. Those oaks, the tops will die off, but they still have so much root system, they're going to pop up really quick.
Okay.
And we're starting to see a decline in our oaks, typically just because around the 1900s, the early 1900s, they started doing that wildlife or that burn ban where you couldn't use any type of fire. Smoky Bear became a really good component of that.
Advocate
and
for that.
we saw that negative effect to our oaks because the maples just took over.
Okay.
So people are starting to see that we do need some fire back in our woodlands just to be able to get those oaks. Now, disclaimer, that's not to go set fire in your
That
woodlands.
doesn't mean you.
You need to be trained and you
Yeah.
need to know what you're doing.
Yeah.
But it's something that's definitely interesting to see in our woodlands today.
Yeah, and on the bright side of the fire, we were, once again, if you think you were burning stuff for your own gratification, there was a bright side on it. They had worked their way into these spots to get the fire put out, and now we've cleared a lot of those spots. now.
Sure.
So we've got more available grounds now
Yeah.
that we've opened up because we were able to get back in there. We got them bush hogged, and
There you go.
it's usable space now. So just when you thought you was doing something to hurt us, in the long run, we'll make a positive out of it.
I love that.
So
Yeah.
Hey, if you listen, he's a positive person. If he survived getting thrown into 4-H camp 5 seconds before 4-H camp started, he can do anything.
Yep.
And make spaghetti. All right, well, boys. So one more time, tell us about the vendor fair before I let you get out of here.
So we'll do setup. People will start setting up on Friday, Saturday morning, 9 to 3.
9 to
Out
3.
at Canner's Caves.
There you go.
1362 Caves Road. We'll be out there. Like I said, it's free to get in, it's free to park, free to see Santa. Santa will be there from noon to 3. So if you want to bring the kids out, have them pester Santa, and you can go shop. It's even better, right? And then
yeah.
then they can go back and get them some chocolate. And what's not to love?
And chicken noodles, right?
And chicken noodles.
Chicken noodles.
And,
Hello.
and everything we raise, guys,
That
it'll
he
go
didn't
straight
cook.
back into camp. I did not cook.
But no, that's
Yeah.
the main thing is a fundraiser for the camp
Every
so that
bit
we
of
can
it, yeah.
continue on
Yeah.
to serve our kids.
We've got a lot of stuff out there we're working on. We want to get it fixed up so the kids have that good experience. And like you said, if people's interested in using camp, it's there. Still do our weddings, still do family reunions,
Beautiful
church
venue.
camps, anything anybody could think of. If you just want to use the grounds, a donation goes a long way, and you can use whatever you need. It's open.
Sure.
And we love having people out there.
Yep.
So, and I will cook for spaghetti for anybody that asks. But if you don't eat it, that's not my problem. I
He
tried.
didn't say it was going to be
I
good.
tried.
He said he would cook it. All right. Well, guys, thank you so much for coming in. Tell Maddie we said hey.
Will do.
We're sorry we missed her because she's in Puerto Rico.
86 degrees.
She is going to get it when she gets back. Oh. But anyway. All right. Well, our good friend Pete Wilson's here, so we'll let you guys switch out. I think we have some weather to do. Speaking of the godforsaken icky weather, thank you, boys.
Thank you.
Come back and see us anytime. And so today is going to be relatively miserable as far as weather goes. They say a high of 28, low of 17. It does not feel, I'm just going to tell you, it does not feel 28 or 17. It feels about two out there. Tomorrow, a little bit warmer with highs of 34, lows of 20. And then Saturday, as you can see through the weekend, getting a little bit warmer as we get to the beginning of your work week. Maybe a little chance of rain in there too, or snow or mix.
Okay. Well,
We'll see.
it's December.
Tis the season.
It's almost winter.
It is.
Technically, I think even though it's not till December 21st, when December arrives, it's winter.
That's, yes. Amen.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
We're just going to say December's winter.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we got a mixed bag on the news front. Got some Christmas stuff to tell you about. But first, we're going to tell you about a big trial that took place in Jackson County Common Pleas Court last week.
Okay.
The defendant was 28-year-old Isaiah I. Robinson of Chillicothe. There is Isaiah. And this was a jury trial that stemmed from an incident that occurred at the Detour convenience store parking lot just outside Wellston. It might even be in the corporate
Okay,
limits
yep.
near the General Mills plant. Involved a female victim. Robinson was accused of assaulting her, also of stealing her car. It went to a jury trial, which took place last week. And in that trial, it was a mixed verdict. He was found not guilty of attempted murder. That was the number one charge. But he was found guilty of 2 counts of felonious assault. Those were second-degree felonies. 1 count of robbery. That's also a second-degree felony. And as I said, not guilty of attempted murder, which was a first-degree felony. And also another count of felonious assault he was found not guilty on. So we weren't at the trial. I can just tell you the results, but it stemmed from an event on Thursday, April the 4th of this year. On that night, according to reports from the Jackson County Sheriff's Office, they received a call about a stabbing in the gravel parking lot of the Detour convenience store, which is there on State Route 327. And Robinson was accused of stabbing a Wellston woman, Michaela Newell, I'm not sure on the pronunciation. He was accused of assaulting her, girlfriend or ex-girlfriend situation, so a domestic violence situation involved in there. She was reportedly stabbed 27 times.
Yes.
Suffered wounds in her head, neck, face, and hands.
Unbelievable.
Right. Had fractures in her neck and back, as well as swelling and pain, and suffered a severe concussion. Extremely serious injuries. Now, he was arrested soon after, and it ended up going to trial, and this was the verdict.
I'm wondering how you stab someone. I'm just thinking out loud here. 20, did you say 27 times?
27 times is
And get out
what
of
was in the
attempted
report.
murder. Mm-hmm. What else is it?
Well, I don't know.
It wasn't self-defense, was it?
I think once can do it, possibly. I think it depends on, what you hit when you stick that knife in there. So, you hit certain arteries or whatever, it's very, very, very...
I'm curious as to why the attempted murder didn't get...
I'm not exactly sure, what the defense was or what the verdict or what the situation was, because you're guilty of felonious assault, so obviously the jury believed that there was an attack, a vicious attack, but they did not believe that it amounted to attempted murder. I don't know whether the intent is in there or what. I don't know. But anyway, the Newell family credits people who were at the scene for saving her life.
For sure.
She escaped from the situation, and it was other people who acted quickly to apply pressure to her bleeding wounds until EMS personnel arrived on the scene. They believe that if this wouldn't have happened, she would have died from blood loss.
It's a lot, yeah.
But that story, we have it all ready to roll. It has not been in the paper yet, but it will be in the paper on Saturday. This was a jury trial last week in Jackson County Common Pleas Court. We also want to tell you about the new Vinton County National Bank building in MacArthur. The reason that we're bringing this up, it did open on November the 25th. There it is. Isn't it a beautiful building? It looks like a
awesome.
lodge or a hotel
Yeah,
almost, doesn't
it's gorgeous.
it? And there's a reason for that. They wanted to make it, it was kind of like a tribute to tourism a little bit. Plus, it's very attractive no matter whether that's your motivation for the design or not. And also some native hardwood in there because
Sure.
of the lumber industry. It's symbolic, but important. Benton County Bank, of course, goes back to 1867. And they've grown. They're in southeastern Ohio, south central Ohio, even metropolitan Columbus. But this reaffirms the banking company's commitment to Benton County and MacArthur. Here are some of the staffers who lined up for a picture when Red Thompson Jr. was up there soon after it opened. It opened on November the 25th. And the reason that we're showing it to you now, in addition to it's pretty new, is they're going to have an open house Saturday from 3 to 6 p.m. It is in conjunction with the Christmas and downtown event in MacArthur.
That's awesome.
That is Heather Booth. And we took her picture because she's, the banking manager for that office. But it's beautiful inside as well as outside. In a tribute to Benton County history, there is a wall that has heritage pictures there, and that is Heather looking at that wall. If you look to the upper right, a very familiar face in Benton County history, that is the famous Maud Collins, who was the first female sheriff in the state of Ohio, and she happened to be the sheriff in Benton County in the late 20s. She succeeded her husband, who I think was killed in the line of duty.
That's cool. I mean, not cool, but cool.
And was elected one other time. I remember coincidentally, the Benton County Historical and Genealogical Society, who's very active as well, their last wreath-laying ceremony was at Maud's grave in Hamden Cemetery earlier this year. It was actually during the Apple Festival. All right, so 3 to 6 p.m., everybody is welcome. You don't have to be a bank customer to go in and see it. They will welcome you.
Sure they will.
All right, so a couple other things we want to tell you about on the Christmas side. We said this yesterday, but we'll remind you because it has arrived. It's today. The Christmas cheer from yesteryear at the Mayu Brown Funeral Home. There it is. Doesn't that look beautiful lit up?
It is an amazing
I'm sure it'll
event.
look a lot like that tonight with the special lighting, the luminaries there in front of the building. And there to the side, if you're looking at that picture to the left side in the big parking lot, that's where a lot of the activities will be. They'll have a live nativity scene. They'll be serving hot cocoa and passing out candy canes. Inside, I think they'll have a memorial Christmas tree where there'll be ornaments in honor of people who have died in the last year who were serviced by the Mayu Brown Funeral Home. Those ornaments will be available to the families of those deceased loved ones. And so all that is tonight from 4 p.m. until 8 p.m. on the funeral home property. That's 135 Broadway Street. That is right on the edge of all the stuff going on downtown for the Jackson Sidewalk Market. And the big thing on the sidewalk market, it's cookie time.
It is cookie time.
Are you doing cookies tonight?
Doing cookies.
There's I looked at the list on Facebook, a huge list of participation. It's just something, the participation in these sidewalk markets. And of course, the cookie walk and the Christmas downtown market, which, they do in December, is especially a big one. But for $7, you got to get a ticket. You got to get a ticket to do this. You just don't get in and get the handout. You got to get a ticket, pay $7. You can go to L.A. Mills Mercantile or Apple City Artisans to get those tickets, $7, and then you can go and get all the cookies at a long list of businesses. And in addition to those businesses that will be giving out the cookies, there will be a bunch of street vendors there that are only there during the sidewalk markets, probably some food trucks as well. I think there's going to be some live music. So it will be bustling downtown. And even though the weather was pretty fierce in the last 24 hours, a little bit better tonight, not quite as windy and not quite as cold.
There you go.
So that is all tonight. I want to tell you about the Christmas parades on Saturday. That is just a sliver of the things that are going on locally.
Oh, yes.
But these parades that are taking place in Jackson, Oak Hill, MacArthur, and Wellston, all on Saturday, are open. I mean, you don't have to be somebody or pay a fee to get in. Now, at Jackson, they are asking for a donation to help the Jackson County Gear Grinders and their Christmas gift project.
Okay.
I'm sure that's voluntary, but they are asking for a donation.
Sure.
You do that through Tom Long or the Facebook page through the Jackson County, for the Jackson County Gear Grinders Christmas Parade. It's $15 to $25 that they're asking. and those funds will help support, it's called Shifting Gears Through Christmas Cheer. That's their Christmas gift program. And you can also mail donations to Post Office Box 8, Jackson, Ohio. But Tom Long's number and contact point through social media is there on that Facebook page. But that parade will be 7 p.m. It'll take off from Broadway Street down there around the Lillian Jones Museum, and we'll end up out at Manpower Park, and that will
It's always so fun.
That'll be the lead-in to the tree lighting and the fireworks display that will take place on Friday night. We'll tell you more about that tomorrow. The Oak Hill Christmas Parade will take off at 4:45 p.m. from the old high school lot at the corner of West Main Street and Western Avenue in Oak Hill. It's where the old high school was. The lot is still there. That's where they line up. They will start there at 4:45 p.m. Once again, this is open to everybody, no registration necessary. It'll end up at Central Memorial Park, where they will do the tree lighting, and Santa Claus will also be there.
Santa.
Right. And then the Wellston Lions Club, even though we had all the Christmas treats on Wellston streets, we still have the Wellston Lions Club doing its traditional Christmas parade Saturday afternoon. It will take off at 1 p.m., line up at 12:30 p.m. at the old high school lot on South Pennsylvania Avenue. These youngsters don't know where that was, but we know, don't we?
We do know, yes.
Right,
It's a big, giant, grassy lot in the middle of town.
Right. That's where all the parades seem to take off from Wellston. But it will come north on Pennsylvania Avenue. I think it will bend into the downtown area to the left, and then make it back up to the city building on the other side of Pennsylvania Avenue. They always have Santa Claus stationed up there on the porch. Of course, the Lions Club famous Santa float will be carrying
It's
Santa.
so fun and amazing.
Usually there's some elves on board as well. So even though we had all the stuff in Wellston last Saturday night, we have more on Saturday afternoon. The Wellston Lions Club traditional Christmas parade that goes back maybe even before I was alive. Mm-hmm. That's how late. Okay, and then the Christmas parade in MacArthur will take place late Saturday afternoon, and it will end up at the courthouse. And that will be the signature event of the Christmas in Downtown event. It will end up at the Vinton County Courthouse. Santa Claus will be there, I think inside the courthouse is how they've done it in the past, or maybe outside if the weather's good, but he will be there at the courthouse, and they will have some extra business activity downtown because of the Christmas season. Some of the businesses will be open who wouldn't be open. They'll be offering special deals. You can go to the Discover Vinton County office and even get a map of the participating businesses and merchants in the downtown area. And then, of course, another feature, we've already talked about it, it's a great chance to tour the new bank building just down the street there, just down West Main Street a little bit. Absolutely. So, that is where we stand, Jennifer. We'll after this weekend, after tonight, and Saturday night, we'll come up for air. But if we don't have the Christmas spirit by then, we never will.
I was gonna say.
And if you're hurting a little bit on this, you can't get in the mood. If you're around some of this stuff on Saturday and tonight, God help you if that doesn't get you in the mood.
Agreed. I believe that. And, honestly, this cold weather is not, the best, but it also does help you kind of get into the Christmas spirit. Little snowflakes coming down. It's pretty.
That's right. Exactly.
For a minute. Then it needs to go away.
That's right. And you do need to think of this. You truly do. Don't take for granted all these things that are going on. They happen because of volunteers.
They do.
There's not a lot of government money that goes in or grants that make this happen. These are volunteer organizations, people giving their time to see that, we celebrate Christmas the way that you should.
Absolutely. So, all right. Well, thank you, Pete, so much. Thanks to our friends from 4-H for stopping by and at OSU Extension. And we will be right back here tomorrow. So stay warm, everyone. It is a cold one out there, and we'll see you then. Bye-bye.
From breaking news to heartwarming stories, the Telegram is your ticket to the latest buzz in town.
Read your daily dose of local headlines, sports, and entertainment and more, in hand and on paper.
Get a print and digital subscription for only $7.95 per month. Delivered fresh every Wednesday and Saturday.
Visit thetelegramnews.com or call 740-286-3023 today.
Don't just read the news, be a part of it.